Hello, 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 hello. So I will go to Visual Studio. I will just set up and make it ready. Docs. This is not chat. So we will create a new project here. I choose a blazor web app. So we just name it expense tracker. Expense tracker app. I'm choosing .NET 8.0 and authentication. I'm choosing individual accounts, not configuring with HTTPS, and then server. This is all fine now. So the project has been created. Let's open app settings.json. Here we have the default connection. We'll just remove this one because we are using only MySQL. We'll just name the server and user ID and password and database. There are the four things we just made. I'm making database name as expense tracker app, password, username, root, and the server is localhost. Password will create one user and then we can add it to this thing. Let's open MySQL. If you haven't installed MySQL, I have a video. You can install MySQL by using that, by watching that video. This is my local instance. So just go to administration, users, and then we create one user. We'll name it expense. Username is expense tracker, and we are using standard. And then expense 2022 star. Expense 2022 stars. That is fine. Expense tracker is the username and expense Account limits, administrator rules. I'm giving all these permissions. Schema privileges, we just add that is not there, that's fine. All schemas I'm giving the permission for him, and then select all, then apply. This will create the user in the MySQL with all the permissions. So this is the username, so we'll use that username, and then the username is expense tracker. Password is expense 2022 star. So now the MySQL database connection has been set. Let's save it and close. Go to manage and get packages, and then search for Pomelo. Pomelo is a NuGet package that will install the entity framework dependencies for the MySQL. So we will use that. So this has been installed. We need to change one more thing. We just go to project tab and then change these details here, because this is using This is using 7.0 version of Pomelo, so it won't support the 8 entity framework and all those tools. So let's save it. Once that is done, we go to open package manager console. We just add migrations. Before that, we need to change this one to use MySQL. Yes, and also we need to pass MySQL server version, that is new version. You can get the version from server status. Once you click on the server status, you will be able to see this is having 8.0.35, 8.0.35. Now it is looking good. Let's save it and close. We are creating the migrations for the MySQL database that we have given the credentials and the database connection strings. Build has been successful and it has created the migrations also. We just update the database. It should update the database in the MySQL database. Yep, it is. There is one error. Refinement roles. LDD commanders Windows 56 and workers. Okay. What we can do is we just remove the migrations folder here. So this has to be removed. There are no migration folders, so once again we just open the package manager console. then update database. Now it is creating the migrations. We just open up this MySQL server and go to schemes, refresh. Here we have the tables and the users and those kind of things. That's looking good. Close this one and then run the application. So now it is working fine. If you go to register, we can able to register. Have registered, so we go to login. So we have successfully logged in and we are getting this user details, and then also we have the logout button. So in the home we are going to generate the expense app. So for that we need to have the models here. So I'm just creating the model folder. Then add a model, just take a class. Expense. I'm not going to deeper in this. I'm just creating the ID for identifying the primary key, and then string of the particular and double the amount, and this is I'm taking amount as double, and then the particular we can give string dot empty. So this is done. So we just need to add this to our DB context. Application DB context. So here we just need to add DB set, that is expenses. We have it now. We'll generate the package manager expense. So add migration is done. Then we just update the database. So that is also done. So we go to MySQL and refresh the tables. We will be having this table which says ID, particular, and amount. That is fine. Then I can go to UI, components, pages, home page. So in here we are going to have expenses, and then it's using Bootstrap, so we will have one flex here, and then justify content between, and then align items center. Here we have two divs. One is for the debits and one is for the credits. Otherwise we just show the total amount left. Firstly we just show the total amount and then we will segregate. So then we are going to have one form here. For this form we are going to have a model. Expense. Control. Sorry. For our label we just use particulars. Input text. Control. Then we'll bind the value. Model not particular. That is fine. For the price we take numbers, then we just mention the price. What is the price? Amount. And that is done. We need to initialize this one. Now it is done. We just create one more div for the button. Button type submit as VTN success. Add expense. That's fine now. and then we need to add that expense to database. So to do that, we just need to inject application db context that is done, and then add expense. So context dot add model context dot save changes. Then we are going to reset the model. Now it is fine. So also we need to have a table here. So here it is, we are adding, and then we can have one table here. Side by side we can take this div, we can give flex, justify content between align items, center. Now this is fine. Then for this we don't have any class here. We just have a table and t head t or td, and then we can have particulars, then particulars, and then amount. So then we need to have can have t body for each. Then we need to have the all the TRs inside that for each loop. So for that we just need to have list of expenses. So the expenses will just give like that, equals to new list of expenses, so that there won't be any null things. So for each wrap expense in expenses, expense dot particular expense dot amount. That is done. So firstly we need to get these expenses from the database before adding the expenses. So for that we have one lifecycle method that is protected override void uninitialized. So expenses equals to context dot expenses dot to list. No complications, very simple. Now we can add the expenses and then we can have the data. So also we can just need to load this every time we add the expenses. So we can just add it in one more function here. Void get expenses. So we just call the get expenses here. Also after creating the new model instance, we will call the get expenses method. You understand it, right? So now this is done. I don't know how it looks on the UI, but the large scale it is very right. So the build is success. It opened up the browser. So this is the particulars. It needs to be side by side, but it is looking a little bit odd. This is one div, this is one div, and we have given the justify content between, but it is didn't work. I don't know why. This is for the chai, 50 rupees. Add expense. Post request does not specify which form is being submitted. To fix this, ensure form elements have form name. Okay, I know this one at the rate unvalid submit. Add expense. Add expense. So we will be opening it in the IS Express because it is a little bit faster. Post request does not specify which form is being submitted. What? Net. Do we need to give this in forms? Zero and particular is 0. And just binding it. Think something we are missing in the supply parameters from form. Do I need to add that one? I think so. But it's still showing the same thing. Now it is showing the details. We just remove all these records from here. So now we have the particulars and amount. Then we can have chai and then 50 rupees. That is actually the expense. So we can add the CRUD operations for this same thing. So we are going to add and edit buttons here. Then btn btn danger, I think. Okay, then we also have the remove. So we just copy this one and paste. We just remove from the context that expenses that remove expense. Context should not save changes, and then we just load the expenses again after removing the expenses. We just reload the expenses rows which are exist, and then also we need to implement this one. So in the add expenses only, we just add if model dot id equal to 0, then we can have this one. Else what we have is we are just updating it. So if it is already exists, we just update it. If it is not there, we will be adding into the database. The ID we are checking. So initially the ID will be 0 because it is integer. And then now we have all the CRUD operations, I think. So that's all. Just refresh and apply the changes. So changes are applied. Now we can see the particular amount and the edit remove buttons. So we just give table to some classes. Table hover, table bordered. So now it should look fine now. Yep, it is looking good. And then we just add flex justify content between align item center, but flex is not working fine. Instead of flex, we just call row class call sm fix. That is fine. Call sm6. This is also fine. How it is turning? We are not having this hard reload checkbox. Now it should work. Yep. So now it looks good. We just have the form group form. It's not the form group. Group is not there. Let me just save it. It should add some padding, but it is not adding. We'll add manually, right? So here it is showing that amount 1323 and the 50. So we just remove it. It's not updating because I just go to some other component and it's not updating. Remove, and then state has changed. That is fine. If you click on it again, I think it will throw an error. No. Pausing the expense. I think hard reloading is not working properly. Still the unclick is not working. .NET 8 blazor on click. Clicking. What do we need to add all these things? I think we chose the wrong template. We need to choose blazor server. But now it is working fine. So it has been removed, and if we click on this one, it comes to this, and we click on add expense, it will update this 500 rupees. Right now it is working fine. So we just need to update this total amount. So to do that, what we have to do is we just in the onInitialize function, we just declare one variable here that is integer, and sorry, double total amount. Initially it is 0, then total amount equals to context dot expenses dot sum of x implies x dot amount. I think this will be the total amount. So then we just add one BR, and then we just call the total amount here. It should display the total amount there. So the total amount should be 500, right? Okay, we just add it in the, we need to add it in the every time we update the expenses. So here it will works. Now if we add wine 1500 add expense, now it is showing 1500 plus 500, that is 2000. And then we'll test with one more time. What all expenses we have? Bike 1,50,000. That's sorry, 2,24,000. That is more than enough. Okay, and then for that we need to have the fuel. That is around 5,000 month. That's fine. For the food, we can have like 12,000. And expenses. This is the kind of expenses we are going to see. And then if you want to edit this to 5,000, that is fine. So expenses app is ready with the .NET 8. So thank you. No one is watched it. It's fine. I just wanted to check whether anybody is wake up at this night or not. That's fine. If you have any, like if you like this video, just comment it in the comment section. If you are watching after the live, that is also welcome. Please subscribe to channel because I'm going to do these kind of videos very often. If you have any like feedback or comments, anything, you can mention it in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you.